You are officially an incinerator. Welcome to Incense and Common Sense, the live streams that we do here on the Alert Zone TV. Shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. I am the host, the Wizard Uncle James. I would love for you guys and girls to become active citizens. Y'all already know how to do that. So, this is an impromptu live stream. David Vallejos, I told you I would get to this. I'm sorry that it took me a little bit to get to it. I had to do a little bit of research. Then I had a lot of other things going on. So we'll give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here. I know it's late. I know it's last minute, but we'll go ahead and do this. So just finishing off my cranberry juice. You guys and girls know that's the drink of mine. One of my drinks, cranberry juice. So I give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here. It look like it's starting to try to warm up here. Across the country, it look like it's trying to pick up. Hopefully we be getting out of all this freezing cold weather. I'm sick of this damn winter shit. Make sure as you come in, you hit the likes button, definitely. Yeah, give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here like always. Just shout out to everybody, man. Like I said, it's kind of an impromptu. I might not keep you guys too long. I just decided to go ahead and do this live. I was going to do it in a recorded video. But yeah, we'll get into some this case. I'll bring some awareness. I'll show you guys and girls where to go. And then I'll talk about some things I've been working on behind the scenes. So give everybody a couple more minutes to get up in here. And man, shout out to GunTube. Eyes and Ears Tactical, of course, for the incinerator. Well Dressed Tactical, Dr. T, Honest Outlaw, Bubba. If you still subscribe to the channel, I don't know if you ever subscribed. The nephew of Honest Outlaw. Shout out to you. He's a very approachable guy. Regular gun guy. Just shout out to everybody. So give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here. As you guys and girls know, Super Bowl coming. It's about to be Super Bowl weekend. So definitely be safe out there. Definitely be safe out there. Yeah. Give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here. We'll start at the 5-minute mark like always. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of a last minute. Usually I give a shalom. I usually give a heads up. This was kind of an impromptu. By the way, shout out to Zija Safes for sending me a safe. You guys and girls, if y'all looking for a good safe, like I said, it got the biometrics where you use your palm. You got the digital where you enter your code, and then you got the key. Old school, you know. They're sturdy. They send you the screws and everything if you want to bolt it down, you know, permanently to something. So yeah, man. Yeah. Make sure you hit the likes button as you come in. Help us out here. You know, we fighting YouTube. You know, GunTube is one of these genres where we work, and we always got to fight with YouTube, you know. And, you know, some of us, as your subs pick up, you know, there's some pressure. So give everybody another minute to get up in here. As a matter of fact, real quick. Got cops on. I can't call it. Had to close the door. I had cops on. You guys and girls know when I got time, I watch cops. I kind of binge watch cops. Just pay attention to the things that the officers say, you know. I examine what they do real good. So trying not to keep everybody no more than 30 minutes, but you know, that all this depends. Sometimes it's supposed to be 30 minutes and it'll be 2 hours later. We'll still be going. So all right, let's go ahead and get into it. So this live stream is about I had somebody that's oh, I ain't got no babies in here. That's the thing, I ain't got no babies in here. Shit. The youngest kid I got is. Oh, you talking about the safe? Yeah. Yo, you talking about the safe? Keep your fire away from the babies. Yeah, you're right about that. Right about that. In general, yeah. I'm very. Well, you know, I told you guys and girls a story. And I talked about that safe yesterday. Um, what happened, you know. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into it. So there's a court case making its way through court right now. Shout out to David for shit. I ain't gonna show that. I did a video on the SD9. I'm not gonna touch it because on live streams, if you touch any firearms, they'll go ahead on and they'll delete your live stream. Nevertheless, David Vallejos, if you see this, shout out to you. I know it's an impromptu. He wanted me to bring attention to a court case, and as I had told you guys and girls, I was going to be working on some new stuff this year. So it's Vallejos versus Bonta and Blanco. And Mr. Vallejos is a CCW owner in Arizona. He has an FFL and all of his credentials to get a carry permit in California, and he was denied that multiple times. You know, the leaps and bounds that they make you jump through. First off, it's my understanding, in order to get a CCW in California as an out-of-towner, you have to be a member of, I think it's about 4 different gun clubs or what have you that they have out there. If you're a member of one of those, they'll let you apply. I'm still looking into that, but yeah. So he asked me to reach out to talk about this and bring awareness to it. So don't forget that's Blanco and Bonta versus Vallejos. It's making its way through the California through the Ninth Circuit Court. I'm not sure if that's in California or not, but it's more of a broader picture. So for those of you who don't know, I told y'all besides doing content online, I was gonna start working behind the scenes on getting in touch with the people I need to get in touch with to try and get national reciprocity, make it where we can carry anywhere we go in all 50 states, and also make it where we can purchase firearms in all 50 states, and that we can get these restrictions lifted. I say 2 out of 3 is gonna be easy. Getting national reciprocity and getting a law where we're able to buy firearms out of state without having to have it shipped is gonna be easier than getting these quote unquote assault weapon bans struck down, because we have a conservative Supreme Court with a conservative majority, and basically they've dropped the ball. You guys and girls heard me jump on Cash Patel with that empty head of his, talking about showing up to protest with guns and stuff like that, and then Trump opens his mouth and just things like that. So I have talked to some of the state representatives here in the state of Iowa. I've talked to a couple people here in the city that I live in, and I'm going to be reaching out to people in neighboring states to try and get this, get with their senators and their Congress people, so we can try and make this a reality. I know it's going to take a while. My goal is, as I told everybody that believes in the Second Amendment, we're going to have to fraction off from everything politically that we fight for and make the Second Amendment absolute and make it a litmus test. You can say what you want about the abortion crowd. I'll give them their props about one thing. When you try and do anything to restrict that, they go into action. When it comes to them, there is no such thing as a restriction. They want a limited access to it. They don't care if it's the day before they go in and they want to be able to pull this. Whether I believe in it or not is not the thing. The thing is, it's something absolute for them. Well, the same thing needs to be done with the Second Amendment. whatever you believe in, there's people that represent you or people that vote that feel the same way as you. We need to break off with the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment needs to be, if it's infringed on anywhere, there needs to be a swift backlash at the poll, and it needs to be a financial backlash. And until we can do that, we'll never be able to get national reciprocity. We'll never be able to get this kind of stuff. Also, we got to make it to where politicians are afraid of us politically, in the sense of, if they don't toe the line when it comes to the Second Amendment, they'll get their behinds voted out of office, or they won't get in office. People don't fear not using this, touching the Second Amendment. I told you guys and girls, since I started my old channel, but since this channel, there's a lot of people in the Second Amendment community that'll tell you they believe in the Second Amendment, but they really don't. Or they believe in it with asterisks and restrictions. And all you have to do is get political with them or get racial with them, and they'll really let you know how they feel. And with the whole ICE fiasco in Minnesota, and 2 people losing their lives, now you have people, red and blue, come out and express their true feelings. Some of them playing their little political game. The Dems are not as anti-gun as people think they are, because they know the Republicans are not just as pro-Second Amendment as they think they are. And I don't just mean the people in office, I mean the voters. There's a lot of guys and girls that have these militias formed. They come out and do demonstrations. They're for the Second Amendment with conditions. It have to be something that they approve of. As I said about the whole Minnesota thing, whether you agree that these people is protesting ICE or not, the point is we have the right to take firearms with us to a protest. So I've got Gun Freak Nation in the building. We have the right to take firearms with us to a protest. Whether that be something that's peaceful or not, we do have that Second Amendment right. And also, people from the Republican side was against it because the protest is about something they don't agree with. They didn't have an issue with Rittenhouse doing it because he went out there against something they was in agreements that he should be out there for. Don't get too political. I'm just saying. I'm working on trying to get senators, things like that, together so we can try and get this passed. It's my belief and it's of my opinion. If we cannot get through with the Trump administration, I would like to get it done before the midterm. But with the Trump administration and with this quote-unquote conservative Supreme Court, we won't never get it through. The Second Amendment's supposed to have all these advocates, yet I don't see or hear a lot of them advocating for things like this. This is what it needs to be. We need to make this national policy. Just like when Bill Clinton was able to get the quote-unquote assault rifle ban on the national level. For those of you who don't remember, the original assault weapons ban came with the 94 crime bill. And in one of the amendments to the crime bill, it banned the manufacturing of quote-unquote assault weapons. It didn't ban the possession. It didn't ban the sale, so you can sell what was available, but you couldn't manufacture them. Then it was Bush Jr. that let that ban expire. And then that's when the manufacturing of ARs and AKs and stuff started back up. Nevertheless, like I said, if we don't get this screwed through the Trump administration, especially right now that he needs some wins on the board, if we don't get it through before midterms, and let's just say the conservatives don't hold both houses of power, yeah, we won't get it through. It's a stalemate issue. It's one of those issues where the Dems and Republicans have made it like a tennis ball, and all they do is hit it back and forth. So Vallejos versus Bonta and Blanco is something we need to all keep our eyes on. Like I said, I'm pushing. I got 3 things I would like to get through, but I know 2 of them are practical. I want national reciprocity. I want to be able to buy a firearm in any state, and yeah, any state. And I also want to be able to not have these stupid quote unquote assault weapon and high capacity magazine bans. I want it all on a federal level. Now I think my honest opinion, we can get national reciprocity and the right to buy firearms in any state and not have to have it shipped to us. I think we can get those 2 through. The third one is going to be kind of difficult because the states feel like they lose leverage. If the feds step in and make a federal reciprocity law, and then they make a federal law that doesn't ban any magazine capacity or assault weapons, then the states feel like they lose their leverage. So I can kind of see, people from certain states not red, because first off, there's no blue states in this country. All the states are red. There's just blue pockets. But I know the little political game that they play. The Republicans don't really go hard about the Second Amendment because they'll scream about the pro-Second Amendment, and then when something unfavorable happens, they'll start with their butts too, and they infringement. So it's all a game. But at the end of the day, I take this serious. I think, or I know, we can get 2 out of 3 passed, and I'm currently working on that. I'm trying to get ground support together so we can try and get this and make this a thing. Rare breed trick, okay. Yeah, what they call them here on YouTube, them super safety triggers or what have you. I know the ATF or somebody said that they weren't going to make a big deal about the super safety triggers, and that they were going to just keep selling them. Oh, the Department of Justice. So, I'm still learning when it comes to talking about those. What's the correct words to use here on GunTube, because they will ding your channel, unfortunately, when you use certain words. But I understand what you're talking about. Over patented devices. They suing for infringement. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We should have what the criminals have. I'm going to say that. I want what they have. Straight up. If they got something that goes brrr, I think we should have that also. I do feel, in my honest opinion, that we as law-abiding citizens probably would have more restriction about using that to actually defend ourselves, because unlike these morons out here, we not looking at just air the block out. We looking to put people down. So I don't think we would get that and just go out, you know what I'm saying? Unlike them. But I think it's good to have. If they have them, we should have them. I know it's more that... Let me throw something out there at everybody about why I think law enforcement is so against the law-abiding citizen having it. The criminals usually gonna run from them. When they show up to us talking about what they gonna take from us, they know there's a possibility they may have to fight it out to take things from us. And us having those super safeties kind of levels the playing field. That's one of my honest opinions about that. They understand when some people say come take it, they really mean that. Nevertheless, I just think that we, as the law-abiding citizens, first off, I want to thank everybody that tunes in to GunTube. I would love for you guys and girls to binge watch this channel, but even if this is not the channel for you, I just want to say I appreciate the fact that people tune in to GunTube, period. Because at the end of the day, we all have one goal we're trying to get to. The law-abiding citizen being protected. Never once do we advocate violence. We don't tell you to get armed so you can go out there and look for somebody to do something to, or to bait somebody into getting them in a position where you can shoot them. That's not what we about. What we saying is, if you're in your car, if you're in your home, if you're out minding your business and somebody run up on you, you should have the right and you should indulge in your right to self-defense. For us, the law-abiding citizens, is way harder than the criminals. The criminals, as soon as they decide they're going to be criminals or commit a criminal act, they get armed. On the other hand, the law-abiding citizens feel like as long as they got 911, they're safe. Or they got cameras on their home, or they got a home burglary system, that they are safe. Ladies, a lot of y'all feel if you got that baseball bat next to your bed, that baseball bat in your car, that baseball bat is gonna save you. Yeah, when a couple hyenas want to fist fight with you at the gas station, yeah. What's gonna happen if they pull that fire out on you? That baseball bat might not do you too good. Put that bat down, and pick up that Taurus G2C, or pick up that 45 ACP, whatever you comfortable with carrying. Because I don't believe in a such thing as a gun for a woman. I believe if a woman can handle a firearm, she should carry whatever she feel comfortable with. So, that's my personal opinion when it comes to that. We having a hard time still. GunTube is still in its infancy. And let me tell you what I mean by that. The genre of GunTube becoming the thing is probably no more than 10 years old, if that. I mean GunTube, I don't mean what it was like a couple of channels here and there. I mean 10 years. It's been about 10 years since GunTube started actually gaining traction and becoming a thing. Something that we named GunTube. It's not that old. It's still in its infancy. The internet, hell yeah. 25, you're damn right about that. As long as it ain't a larceny. The larceny like a high point is a 50-50. But even the internet for the everyday user is probably 20 years old or younger. YouTube didn't become a thing till like 2009, 2010, something like that. So a lot of this stuff is still considered to be in its infancy, especially when you talk about broadcast and legacy media. So we haven't even scratched the surface of getting to the masses of people. But doing these types of videos, getting our channels terminated, getting our videos and stuff demonetized, give me a minute, I'll address that. Getting our channel strike, the shadow bans and all that, we continue to keep going because this message needs to get out there. But yeah, around 2020 is about when GunTube became like, I say it's in its infancy, like 2015, because you can just find people talking about guns. But yeah, around 2020, 2019, 2020 is when it started like becoming, no, this is a genre. And this is basically almost everybody laser focused. So yeah, around 2020, like you said, when GunTube started really becoming the thing. And it has taken off. I'm proud of everybody that was around then. For some people, decided to stop doing it for whatever reason, and that's fine. At the end of the day, every little block helps build a building. If you think about it 20 years ago, for those of you who knew the firearms, none of this was around. None of this to encourage you to go out and protect yourself was around. What you had around was TV shows and news stories and stuff to make you feel like getting legally armed. They always framed it as though we had to be some kind of a crazy people. If you was a white guy that wanted to get a gun, it's because you want to go shoot up something. If you was a black guy, all black people go and get guns, it's because they so angry and the angry black people. And if you was a Hispanic person, well, you want to buy them guns and send them to Mexico because you want to help out the cartel. And for Arabs, they would say, oh, only terrorists. I mean, you guys and girls don't have no idea how bad guns was demonized in broadcast media for the young people. A lot of y'all don't understand that. So us doing this work 40 or 50 years from now, when GunTube has been established and they see that it's not a fad, people gonna look back and say, damn, I remember them days, boy. I remember when GunTube first hit the scene, how different life was then compared to now. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I appreciate everybody that does this. I always appreciate, and I have to tell you guys and girls that constantly. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Also, I'm proud of the women. I like to toot my horn. I'm one of the guys when I started on my other channel and then I started this channel of ringing the alarm saying, making videos specifically for women, encouraging them to get armed. I'm not the first. Let's get that straight. I'm not the first person to do that. But I'm one of the ones back 5 years ago so was ringing the alarm. Ladies, get armed. And even to the point that I started saying for the women, hearing this message from me or from men may make you feel uncomfortable. You might have to hear it from a woman. Yeah. You know what? Speaking of inflation, I saw something today. It's 928, but it made a lot of sense. So there was this guy that decided to go to Walmart for whatever reason and start picking up hams and meat that they were selling by the pound, and he would put them on a scale. The label would say that this weighed 4.5, 5 pounds, but when he weighed it, it would weigh less than 2 pounds, but they had the price as though they was charging you per 5 pounds. And I hear last year Walmart just had to pay a $45 million settlement for running this hustle. I've always said this inflation is more of a manufactured thing than it is the actual product going up. Companies still make record profits. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too far off in the rabbit hole, but you're right. I have a friend of mine. He talks to me all the time about reloading, and I just keep putting up a fight. I'm going to make him a promise. I'm going to learn that stuff this year, how to actually do reloading. He's got the whole reloading set up, and I just put up a fight about it. I'm still of the mind frame that I don't want to reload ammo. I don't want to build a gun. Hold on. Oh, okay, that's upstairs. But I don't want to reload. Hell, I hear water. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, everybody. That's the bathroom upstairs. They're running water in the sink. I'm at the point, though. I don't want to reload. I don't want to build no rifle. I don't want to fix nothing. I just want to go buy ammo. And if I got a problem with a gun, just take it to the gunsmith and let them do it. If I buy a kit, somebody else put it together. I'm not going to even lie. I'm still of the mind frame I don't want to do that type of stuff. I know it's lazy, but that's just what I am. Um, but knowing how to reload is really a good thing. Um, and it's something I'm gonna get with. I'm gonna get with it. I'm gonna learn it. Cause it needs to be learned. It's a good skill to have. You know, you never know what's gonna happen on here. Shit. You know, like you said, in the apocalypse, shit, you might have to reload. Um, have to learn how to do it on the fly, man. You just never know. Like I said, I'm still that type of person. I know that's lazy. I know a lot of guys and girls build their own rifles and stuff. Me, I'm gonna be honest, I don't. Like I said, I just buy whatever made, or I tell them what I want and let them do all that. And I just buy ammo. So, um, with that being said, everybody, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Remember, Vallejos versus Bonta and Blanco. You guys and girls, if you Google it, it'll come up. And you guys and girls are welcome to check that out. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I want to say this to everybody before I get out of here. I want to apologize. I've been saying I'm going to learn this moderating stuff. You guys and girls, my stubbornness. I have other equipment for the channel and stuff that I have never used. I've been saying I'm going to use that damn head camera for the longest. Forgive me, you guys and girls. This moderating stuff, I'm gonna learn this. I'm like I said, I'm working on some things to better the channel. Now I'm still gonna live stream and I'm still gonna record raw and uncut. That has gotten me to where I am, and I don't want to change that formula. I really don't like to edit my stuff. I just like to be raw and just give it to you like that. That's just me personally, like I said. Because I always think about it is, this channel is educational. It can be a guideline for do's and don'ts. Things I may do wrong, things I may do right. It can be a guideline for somebody else that want to do this type of stuff. You know, you guys and girls might be a whole lot more into technology than I am. So I have this old look for a reason, the old VCR look. For my young people, if you don't know what VCRs look like, an old handheld camcorders, I can do this program and this channel in 4K. I just choose not to. I like that old school look. I'm that old school uncle. For those of you who don't know how the whole thing about unks came in black society, once you get to a certain age, usually the young fellas start calling you unc. You usually the old school dude everybody can talk to, and you tell them things that their dad would refuse to. So for those of you, my dad got killed when I was 7. I've always, for my young life, had my uncles around. So that's where I got game from. And then older men in the neighborhood. So that's where the whole unc thing comes from, you know. I'm 46, so I'm of the age to be an unc, and that's why I just chose the whole Uncle James thing. But I like the look of the channel. I want to stay with that. But with that being said, I definitely, like I said, I'm working on upgrading my StreamYard account and what have you, so I can have people come on, so I can do interviews. It's a whole lot of things we're gonna get done. But go and check it out. David Vallejos, shout out to you. But check it out, Vallejos versus Bonta and Blanco, and do your research on it and what have you. Like I said, it's about California, and it ties into the whole national reciprocity thing that I would love to get passed. Like I said, I've talked to a couple people in the last couple days. I am definitely working behind the scenes, talking to these senators and stuff like that. It's kind of hard, especially if you don't catch them when they're on a break from DC. It's not that easy to actually talk to them. You have to go through their staff and what have you and wait for them to return your call. So it's a process. but I'm out there making the calls and I'm talking to the people to try and get this thing to become a reality. Um, I understand laws don't get passed overnight. I would love to get this done and signed before the midterms, but you just never know. Even after the midterms, I want this to be a national thing, and I think if enough of us that claim we love the Second Amendment really get behind it, we can get it through. And that's the three things that's the most important. You guys and girls can give me other ideas. National reciprocity, the power to purchase a firearm anywhere in the country without having to have it shipped to an FFL. So national reciprocity should cover that. Not only should we be able to carry in all 50 states, we should be able to legally buy in person in all 50 states. And to get these assault weapons bans and high capacity magazine bans struck down and get it enshrined into law to make it unlawful to pass something like that. If we can get those three things on the federal level, the goal is complete. Well, that'd be step one. However, like I said, getting national reciprocity and the ability to purchase firearms in all 50 states in person without having to go through a waiting period and without having to go through having it shipped to your FFL. Those two things I think are the most practical. So we're going to lay out all three, but if we can get those first two, we can work on that third one. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you're catching us on the replay, make sure you give this a like, comment. Let me know what you guys and girls think on it. And until next time, stay safe, stay on high alert.